against the pride of Philadelphia, Anthony Boyle, who is 17-1-1 and was on his way up in the world rankings. Solis surprised him in the fifth, completely dominating Boyle in the fight.
And in his fight, Al, he overwhelmed Anthony. He took control, busted Anthony up. He stunned him, he knocked Anthony down, then he came in to knock Anthony out.
3 months later, in Florida, going up against the favorite Mike Cruz, and Solis struck early.
And again in this fight, Solis took control and he maintained control. Cruz just couldn't withstand that punishment as long as Anthony Boyle did.
Julian Solis, in desperation it appears, a former champion who wants it again. At the age of 34, his last 2 fights have pumped new life into his career. The knockouts over Boyle and Cruz sets up tonight's important fight for Solis.
Yo cuando caiga en el cuadrado voy a estar arriba de él, porque esta es mi oportunidad.
It's my opportunity to get him at my best. I'm not going to give him a chance.
Si no puedo echar hacia atrás, tengo que estar arriba de él.
I can't afford to lose.
Yo quiero ser campeón mundial, voy a hacerlo.
I'm going to be a champion again.
Lo que quiero, lo logro.
I want it, I'm going to get it.
Standing in his way is Calvin Grove, also in a must-win situation. One-time featherweight champion, he was 33-0 before losing his title to Jorge Paez. He has also lost the rematch to Paez and was stopped in his last fight by Bernard Taylor. 3 losses in the last 2 years, although Grove doesn't exactly see it all that way.
The first Paez fight, it wasn't even close. I mean, let's face it, it wasn't even close. He won the last round. They gave me a 10-4. It's not such thing as that. Boxing is 10-9, 10-8, 10-7. Now, if you can come with there is a 10-4 round, then I'll sit down there and agree. The first fight wasn't even close. Said they robbed me.
Grove had agreed to go into the hometown of unknown Jorge Paez, a club fighter from Mexicali, Mexico. Easy workout and a good payday, figured Grove. He was well ahead in points going into the 15th and final round.
Grove is in big trouble. He's holding on. Paez is over it. Grove is down. I'm not sure he's going to make it.
Grove has been on, and he has been on the canvas before and knows how to get up.
He is on his feet, but he's in deep trouble. And he's got a long way to go. Paez trying to finish him. Grove is about to go again, trying to hold on. And down he goes from an uppercut. Grove is on his feet. And Rothenberg is counting now, but I'll tell you, he held that count up for a good 10 seconds.
And people are trying to pour into the ring here in Mexicali. Grove has got to hold on and try to last the round. Paez can win this fight here. This is his opportunity.
And he's another trouble again, and down he goes again. And again, Rothenberg not counting nearly quick enough. There's no 3 knockdown rule, remember. Still well over a minute to go, and I have an idea Paez is going to have to knock him flat out to win the fight. And he's got 35 seconds left.
Paez has to capitalize on this. He's giving Grove too much time, too much room for Grove. Grove is weak. He's weak because of all this heat.
And I have to tell you, I think the referee is doing a brutal job in this round. And Grove might make it. And if he makes it, he might get the decision. It's over.
Grove made it, but he didn't get the decision. The 15th round gave Paez the decision and the crown.
The second Paez fight, we went down there. Sean was commentating. You can barely, so much dust in that place. 3 rounds, I was dead. You know, my corners, my trainer wanted to stop it. I said, no, if he don't get me, I'm gonna get him.
and Grove is ready to go. Paez just has to put some combinations together on the chin of Grove, and this fight will be over.
Grove looking for the home run here in the 11th to survive. Does he have it in him? Look at his legs, wobbly. And Paez now taking his time, being patient.
It's the bull against the matador. Grove has got to tie up, he's got to hold on, he's got to get those hands out in front of him.
And unlike the other fight, might not be able to afford it because he is not way ahead on the cards and is most likely behind. Wobbly legs of Calvin Grove, round 11. He is down!
A big left uppercut. Grove does not look like he's going to make it up this time. And
Paez giving Calvin Grove extra seconds. He will not make it. It is over.
In the Bernard Taylor fight, I was winning the whole fight. The last round, you know what I mean, he hit me with overhand right. I went down, I got back up again, and then the referee said the fight's over with. If you can view that tape again, you see he had his back turned, but when I was up on my feet, we turned around, stared up, and he said the fight's over.
Harder, man!
good overhand right by Taylor. A sweeping right-handed.
Minute 20 in the 11th.
And the blood is streaming down from the cut that opened up earlier in this fight.
All right, back.
Grove is back.
70 seconds to get through this round. He's in deep trouble. Taylor is all over him. It is over. Bernard Taylor stops Calvin Grove and wins the USBA Junior Lightweight title.
I know you are, but the fight's over.
I know Calvin, I know.
Julian Solis, a long climb from his championship days as a bantamweight at 118 pounds. And Calvin Grove has the 5-inch reach advantage. But he had a 9-inch reach advantage against Jorge Paez.
Health Boxing Promotions brings you the main event. 10 rounds in the junior lightweight division. Your referee for this bout is Rudy Battle. And now introducing, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 127 pounds. He's wearing the white trunks with red trim. As a professional, 40 wins, 10 defeats, 1 draw, 20 knockouts. The former WBA bantamweight champion from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Julian Solis. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the black trunks with the gray trim. He weighed in at an even 129 pounds. As a professional, 37 victories, 3 defeats, 14 by knockout. The former IBF featherweight champion from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, Calvin Silky Smooth Grove.
And a problem in the corner of Calvin Grove. One of the gloves is torn, so they will make the change. And what does this do to the fighters?
Well, they have both gotten warmed up, especially Julian Solis. He's warmed up to get ready to fight at a certain point, a certain time. And now they're going to change the glove. Now, they have 2 sets of gloves at a main event fight, and both of them are new, just in case one of them tears. Good thing they had that backup. These guys that had a fight without gloves.
Well, they've waited long enough. Yeah. Calvin Grove's last fight was 11 months ago. Julian Solis' last fight was 9 months ago. The difficulty of getting fights, and now the 2 world champions, the former world champions, meet, and the winner will continue on. As Sean mentioned earlier, for the loser, it may be the career. By the way, if you have any questions for Sean O'Grady, upcoming in the KO Comments segment, here is the date. Last January against Anthony Boyle, a guy who has a knockout punch and was a Philadelphia favorite, and Solis showing his craftiness, just slashing away, knocking out Boyle, then knocking out the favorite, Mike Cruz. So new life pumped into his career. He goes up in weight, and finds a knockout punch.
Good clean fight. Good luck to both of them this touchdown.
Rudy Battle, the referee for this 10-rounder, the new silky smooth. Calvin Grove feels at 129. He is now new and improved, Sean, by going back to the old Calvin Grove.
And he's also changed management. Scott Kendall says this is Calvin's last hurrah. He's so focused for this match. He's put him back here with his family in Pennsylvania, moved him back home, and he's also taken off the financial burdens for Silky Smooth.
But Grove went through a period, Sean, where he was, of course, the excellent boxer, winning 33 fights in a row on his way to the IBF Featherweight Championship, which was his 34th consecutive win. Then he felt he had to make himself a little more marketable and was trying to get a big punch. But he just sees that that's not Calvin Grove. He says, I'm no Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson's no me. I got to do what I can do. I can't be what I'm not. I'm not a big puncher. I have to box to make my openings.
And him trying to be that big puncher was his downfall. In order to have a big punch, you got to commit. You got to stand, you plant your feet, dig your toes into the canvas, and then crank. When you do that, you easily could run into a big punch of your opponent. And that's what happened for Calvin Grove. Now, you're right, he says, no more power punching. I'm out there for 10 rounds of skillful boxing. So tonight, we could either see 1 or 2 quick, hard-hitting rounds from Solis, or 10 beautiful, clicking rounds from Calvin Grove.
Now, Solis says that Grove is the bigger man. He thinks that Grove will charge after him, which we don't think will be the case. So Solis says, I'm going to... Oh, there goes Grove! Solis again unleashes the big punch. Solis said he will go after Calvin Grove, and he did. Grove shaking it off midway in the first round. Nearly embarrassed, he says, oh, I'm okay. And now Solis, sensing, will be on top of Grove.
And that was a knockdown. I don't want to take that away from Solis, but Grove did appear to be off balance. He ran into that right hand. Right here, Grove has got to get back to that left jab.
Grove, when he was in the more of the boxing mode, actually liked fighters who came at him. He preferred to fight. He thought that's why Jorge Paez would be a very easy payday.
And as long as he's got that jab working and he's got his movement going, he is right in that area. But what he doesn't want to do is what he's doing now. Now, Solis is trying to get Grove to come after him.
Actually, when Grove won the World Championship against Antonio Rivera, Grove came off the canvas to win that. Coming down to the final 20 seconds of round number 1. Calvin Grove in the black trunks, Julian Solis in the white. Scheduled for 10 rounds. As we pause now for a word from your local cable systems. Calvin Grove trying to shake off that first round knockdown, comes out to meet the game to Julian Solis, who has a new lease on life after his last couple of fights.
And he was disturbed about that knockdown. He was complaining to his cornerman that he wasn't really down, he didn't hurt me, making sure they realized that he's okay.
Grove, 28 years old, a record of 37-3 with 14 knockouts. Solis at the age of 34. He has won 40, lost 10 with 1 draw and 20 knockouts. Between these two fighters, Sean, they have combined for 91 fights over the course of 676 rounds.
A lot of experience in this ring. A lot of experience, except it seems that the later rounds would favor Solis. Seems like Grove loses concentration as the fight continues.
Generally, both fighters experienced distance fighters. Solis has gone 10 rounds or more on 23 occasions, and Grove has done it 19 times. Solis turned pro back in 1975. Just a couple of years after the Foreman-Frazier affair. He went undefeated in his first 5 years of fighting, 20-0. That led him to the WBA bantamweight title fight against Jorge Lujan, which was won by Solis in 15 rounds. But his championship was short-lived. Next fight against Jeff Chandler, and Solis was stopped in the 14th. In a rematch with Chandler 8 months later, Chandler stopped Solis in 7.
Jeff Chandler from right here in Philadelphia. In fact, he is here tonight. Former sparring partner with Calvin Grove. Been in the ring with both of these people. He likes the power of Julian Solis.
Solis a year ago appeared here at the Blue Horizon and won over quite a few fans against Anthony Boyle. Solis getting up to 128 pounds for that one, the heaviest he has ever fought. But he has been moving up in weight, going up against bigger guys, and you figure he might be in trouble, but instead he has scored a couple of knockouts at this weight.
It would appear that he is trying to get into those later rounds, because notice how he's starting off this fight. He is bouncing around a lot, he's moving a lot, showing a lot of angles to Calvin Grove. That is not his original style.
Come to the Bermuda Triangle.
No wonder nobody ever comes back.
Round number 3. Welcome ringside at the Blue Horizon. Budweiser presents USA's Tuesday Night Fights. Our season premiere, Al Albert along with the champ, Sean O'Grady, 2 former world champions now squaring off. Calvin Grove in the black, Julian Solis in the white. Grove is now ranked number 10 in the IBF. Julian Solis not ranked at all. A matter of fact, he has been fairly inactive over the course of the last couple of years. This is only his 5th fight in 2.5 years, and he was dropped from the rankings because of inactivity. He was ranked number 10 in the IBF as a featherweight. And there's the man who took the title away from Julian Solis, one of the great world champions out of the city of brotherly love, Jeff Chandler. He held that title for 10 defenses.
That was the WBA Bantamweight Championship of the World, and a terrific fighter was Jeff Chandler.
4 years he reigned as the champion.
Talks today about him making a comeback. Whispered in his ear, he said, nah, not really.
Well, he's
just starting some talk.
He's as old as Solis, 34 years old, but Chandler retired back in 1984 after he lost the title to Ricky Sandoval.
Still early in this match. This may be what Julian Solis is setting the plan for this fight. He wants to get Grove coming after him. Grove thinking that he does have some power. Having Grove stand flat-footed and then unload some heavy bombs. He's not really been getting hit a lot. He's not taking a lot of punishment. He's trying to get this fight to the later rounds.
Calvin Grove now campaigning as a junior lightweight. Weighed in tonight at 129. The junior lightweight limit is 130. Grove said he would prefer to have stayed as a featherweight, but at 5'8", he kind of outgrew it. He said just getting to 129 for this fight was hard work, so 126 certainly out of range.
And I tell you, Calvin Grove has just got such a pretty style. He really knows how to fight, but he can't. I hope he doesn't think that he's going to be a puncher. He's really got a good, nice jab, crisp punches, and good movement. Great balance.
25 seconds left in round 3. It is scheduled for 10. To end that round, let's go into the corner now of Julian Solis.
Campeón, que no tiene nada, él no tiene nada. Oíste, él no tiene nada en la mano, él no tiene
And Calvin Grove.
Okay? Right? Hey, doing a good job. You're doing a good job, right? Keep on going now. Keep on holding up. Take his leg from him. Keep boxing. Mix him up. Okay, you okay? Okay, now keep that cool.
One of the things that Calvin Grove may have trouble with is when you're a puncher, you got to spread your legs. Look at his trunks there. The stride is real low, and he can't get a lot of extension in his legs.
Punch a little bit too tight.
But with a fighter like Calvin Grove, who's a great boxer and needs to be a great boxer, perhaps that is put on him to remind him to box, to box.
Battle just a Calvin Grove fashion statement. Rudy Battle, the third man in the ring. Al Albert with Sean O'Grady ringside on Tuesday Night Fights.
Maybe they should be boxing pants for Calvin. They are long trunks. Notice more slugging from Calvin. We've not seen the big punches from Solis yet. Even though he had Calvin on the deck in the first round. That was the right hand again. The reason that right hand is landing, Calvin has that left hand down by his waist.
When Calvin Grove was starting his climb, you saw him fight on the outside. Get inside, but then get out. Not stand in and trade. He took a big right from Solis in the first round and went down. But now Calvin Grove fighting his kind of fight. Almost again getting into an awkward position. He was in an awkward position when he was nailed and went down. It was more the position than the punch.
I believe we have detected a cut over the right eye of Calvin Grove. It is not bleeding. They've done a good job over in the corner.